Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. And today I want to share a little something that happened or how I felt when I first started on my, little adventure, towards self-love or on my self-love journey, whichever way you want to look at it. It was over a decade now. We're actually well over a decade. It's been over 12 years, I believe now, if I look at the calendar. And it's if I'm pretty sure I shared some of the story before on another episode, and it's just I didn't even know what I was doing when I started. I just started deepening a relationship with myself. However, there was a lot of things going on that I was feeling. I was definitely not very loving towards myself on so many different levels for so many years. So I definitely took some time to start having more loving feelings towards myself instead of, beating myself up left, right, and center. And one of the things, I remember, I know I probably shared this in one of the meditation ones too, about when I learned to meditate. I remember I was laying down meditating or trying to anyways, and my grandma would interrupt, or I had just different things. I would just beat myself up for not being able to do it, or I've talked about for emotions, if I had negative emotions instead of positive all the time, I would continuously beat myself up for it. And then also, I've read a lot of self-help books, and even a few years ago, I was heavy into reading self-help books. I love them now even. I listen to them more than I read them right now just because it's easier to, hang out with my son and listen to them as I go or things like that. But I was heavy into reading them, a physical book when my son wasn't sleeping through the night because it was my way of staying motivated and inspired and things like that. But one thing you can get in the habit, or not even habit, one thing you can kind of fall into is this feeling that you need to fix yourself. It's oh, this is the next book that is going to make my whole world better. It's going to make me better. Maybe world is good, but anyways, you can be this is a book that's going to fix me. This is a book that's going to make me better. The thing is, you're amazing already where you are. And I'm not saying it's not important to continuously, read books that inspire, motivate, and help you grow, because I'm not. I'm very much a big believer. I am a huge, huge fan of learning forever. I used to hate school growing up, and now I take as many classes as I can online and read as much as I can and fill myself with so much inspiration and motivation and just awesomenesses and techniques to help improve my life and just everything about it. However, this need to feel like you need to fix something doesn't help, because you're constantly looking for that thing that is going to make you better, or this is it. This is going to be, I'm going to be fully ready to go, or whatever you're feeling you're going to arrive at. Yes, once I read this, I will no longer have to pick up a help book. I will be fixed and I will be ready to take on the world. And you can take on the world now. You can do all these things now. Or you can at least, you can, make changes and improvements so you can feel like you can take on the world. But this need to fix something runs deeper. It's this this, once I have XYZ, I will feel whole. And it's not so much about filling it with something. Well, I guess it is. The thing is, it's filling it with your love. It's starting to be okay, why do I need to feel like I need to be fixed? When you can feel whole, when you can feel enough right where you are, then you get to see things through different eyes, different lenses, really, and embrace them more fully. It's incredible. Like I spent so many years, so many years thinking I needed to be fixed, that there was something wrong with me. That it's like I have to do whatever, like do this course or do this or that, or I'm not good enough until I, do XYZ. And that's where the fixing part comes in. When we feel like we need to be fixed, we don't feel like we're good enough until we're fixed. And that's where we a lot of us, and including myself at times, depending on what it is, will not feel good enough because there's something lacking. And usually it's the love for ourselves. And now I'm not saying this to make you feel bad at all. I'm saying this because I've been there. I've spent, like I said, years trying to fix me so I would, be good enough for a man, that I'd be, good enough for my dream job, or be good enough for like my family to like see me through like better eyes, or whatever it may be. See me in like a better light, or whatever it might be. But it's not about fixing something. It's about nurturing something, nurturing the love you have with yourself, and really just coming to terms with where you are. It doesn't mean you have to be there forever. And like I said, it's not about not reading books. I love books, and I still have that, deep desire to write one someday, because I feel like, there's someone there. But anyways, off topic here. Anyway, I'm procrastinating in my own ways, So we all do it. Okay, I shouldn't say all, but a lot of us do it. So it's not about not reading them, but it's not looking for like there is the answer to make your life whole or yourself whole. It's about giving you tools to help create this better relationship, or a deeper, not even better, a deeper relationship with yourself. But it's not looking for something outside of you, because what you already have, all you need within. And then these tools that are in these books just help motivate, inspire. Hopefully, my podcast hopefully inspires and motivates. And it's this knowing, like I know one of the things that have helped me is knowing that I'm not the only one like this. A lot of those books were like, I'd be reading like, oh, I'm not alone in this. And this is one of the reasons I share my struggles, my challenges, my wins, my yays, I did it, my successes, like celebrating and sharing. And it's because I care about you, and I want you to know that you aren't alone in with whatever you're going through. Now, our challenges and struggles might not be identical. Maybe they are, but we all have our unique things to work through. And it's just knowing that you're not alone on that journey. So if you feel like this need to fix yourself, or that you're not enough until, something happens, or until you, whatever a certain goal is, know that you don't need to be fixed. It's about nurturing that relationship you have with yourself. Being honest with yourself. Be like, oh, yeah, I have been thinking like that. Or, just be honest. Yeah, I've been angry because I haven't at myself because I haven't been able to do this. Or, yeah, I've been beating myself up. Be honest with yourself. And then be like, oh, but I don't need to fix it. I just need to shine light on it. Love myself. Like, give yourself some love there. Nurture the relationship you have with yourself. It's not about beating yourself up at all. It's about being aware of how you're feeling, what's going on, and maybe what you might feel is lacking in your life. Be honest with yourself. Why do you feel that whatever it is you need to be fixed needs to be fixed? And for me, I struggled for so long weight-wise. I've mentioned in so many different things, like it's still something I'm working on. I definitely feel like I'm heading in the right direction, but I can get in the poor me attitude, or I need to fix this before I can do this. Like there is, in all honesty, and I might have actually shared this in another episode. I'm not sure if I did. I am, Saying it again. I didn't feel like I could be a yoga teacher until I lost weight, because I'm like, all the yoga instructors I saw, all the yoga teachers I saw, it looked like they were like super zen, super had it all together, super thin and flexible. And I was like, wait up, Jody. Like, I was yeah, talk to myself. Anyways, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wait until everything's perfect, or until I feel like I need to be this perfect thing, this perfect example of a yoga instructor. I can be who I am now and go through that. And then just show other people's, like, leading by example, right? So I may not be, a thin yoga instructor, but I'm on the verge of becoming one. I'm very close to finishing my training. And who knows, maybe by the time that this airs, I will be done. Who knows? Anyways, we don't need to wait till the perfect time to do the thing that we most want to do. It's about doing it, maybe falling down, picking ourselves up, dusting ourselves off, and taking another step forward. That step doesn't have to be perfect. The direction doesn't even have to be perfect. But taking a step with love and excitement, or maybe even like a little bit of, maybe not excitement. Well, maybe it is. Whatever it is, taking a step in whatever direction you think is right for you, or think might be possible for you, is better than just staying on the ground and letting people trample all over you, or letting, it rain down on you, or, get back up and move forward as you are right now. Because where you are is where you're meant to be at this moment. But like I said in the description of this podcast, is you don't need to stay there. Like, where you are is perfectly where you're meant to be, right at this very moment, listening to this podcast. However, that doesn't mean that you can't make changes and pivot in the direction you want to go. You don't have to be stuck somewhere that you don't want to be stuck. However, it's about loving who you are and where you are at this very moment, so you can get unstuck and move forward towards where you want to go. But when we beat up ourselves and think we need to be fixed or things like that, we're now focused on more of the problem, or focused on more feeling, poor me. And trust me, I totally feel that way sometimes, especially even on my weight loss journey, where it's like, oh, like, this is my, I have struggle moments. I have bad days. I am human. However, it's like, shake that off, feel it, whatever needs to do and be, and come through that, and then be like, okay, that is where I am right now, but that doesn't need to be where I am forever. So it's moving forward. Baby steps are encouraged or welcome. Big steps, awesome too. I always find that the bigger the steps I take, the harder I fall, because I want to do too much too soon. Now, that's me personally. I want to do it all right now. Baby steps are really, really a good thing, personally too, where, like, okay, what can I do today to just pivot myself towards the right way? You don't even have to take a step yet. Start there. Maybe you don't even know the direction you want to go. Start there. But if you're in this habit of thinking like, oh, I need to fix this, or whatever that might be, look at what that is. Like, what would change in your life if you fixed whatever you thought needed to be fixed? What would change? Now, what could you do? Like, what would that new you that's fixed do? How would you live your life if you were fixed? Now, try and go out and live a day as you were already fixed, because you're already fixed. You know what I mean? And just grow and just embrace it. And I do want to emphasize that it's not about oh, I'm fixed, or Jody said I'm fixed and I don't need to do anything anymore. I'm not saying that, but just know that you're perfectly perfect where you are right now, and also know that there is no such thing as perfect. But it's being okay with where you are and who you are right now to help move you forward. Because when you're beating yourself up, when you're hating yourself for where you are, who you are, you can't see straight. You can't see forward. You can't see a way out of the hole. But when you start loving yourself, loving where you are, or at least liking, let's start there, liking or appreciating, being grateful for the lessons you've learned, or where you can see what the little nuggets of awesome that is in your life that's sprinkled. Maybe it's like a little dusting of glitter somewhere. Those are the things to focus on to help you move forward. Because the more you focus on the fixing of the not good enough, the deeper that hole gets and the harder it is to get out. And when you're starting to move forward, that's when you can pick up those books and they can help motivate you. But if you're reading those books and you feel like, oh, I have to fix myself, I'm not good enough, or I need, like, oh, here I go again kind of thing, and you just feel like it's work, like you're working on yourself, and it's this challenge and this, like if you have this negative feeling towards it, then you're not coming from a loving place at that moment. But you can turn it around. Of course, these books can help inspire and, definitely help you grow and inspire and support you along your journey. And they can even help you, depending on what bad days you're having, help you get out of those holes. But when we fall into those thinkings of like, I need to fix something first, it's a really hard thing to get out of. So just know that you don't need fixing. You need maybe inspiring and motivating, a little motivation to get moving or whatever. And that's why podcasts and books and things are so good. Just don't get lost in that way that you feel like you can't do something or you're not good enough until you hit a certain point or you fix a certain something about yourself. You're perfectly imperfect, and that is perfectly awesome. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.